That is right. That is right. Alright, that's enough. That's to indicate that the Buffalo Bills won. For the first time since 1995, they won their first playoff game. But there is a but. And I will talk about that but in a minute. Yeah, by the way, this has a problem with this thing. It comes out because it needs to be glued back together. So that way it'll stay right in. Yep, folks. The Bills finally won a playoff game. That ends a streak of 6 straight losses, and they beat the Indianapolis Colts 27-24. That was the final. They beat Indianapolis. And I am glad because I wanted revenge. I wanted revenge for what Indianapolis did in Week 16 when they faced the Steelers. Because Indianapolis had a chance to beat the Steelers, which would have, which of course a couple of things did happen, if Indianapolis would have been in the same boat in which they would have won and Tennessee would have lost and Buffalo would have won, Buffalo would have had the second seed wrapped up, and then they wouldn't have used any of their starters or whatever not in Week 17. But because the Indianapolis Colts blew it in Week 16, Buffalo had to wait until Week 17 in order for them to actually get the number 2 seed. So I wanted to see revenge. And it was also for what happened with Andrew Luck, because the way Andrew Luck was treated, the owner and I think the GM at the time when Andrew Luck was still a player didn't help out matters at all, and as a result Andrew Luck ended up having a quick retirement. And he was an actual good player for the Indianapolis Colts, but because of the way they treated him, Andrew Luck's career took a nosedive and he ended up retiring. And Andrew Luck's career ended up being quite short. So I wanted to see revenge. And Buffalo Bills did that. But they had to fight for it. The Bills had to fight for it. But there was one thing that I will say. But before I do that, I'm going to explain what happened with the game. Josh Allen had a really good game. He only had one fumble. Which of course the Buffalo Bills recovered. There was no turnovers, but there could have been one turnover if it wasn't for one thing. And I will explain why. Now, when it came to the first half, Indianapolis was doing pretty well. They kicked the field goal, it became 3-0, and then of course the Buffalo Bills scored a touchdown pretty quickly. And the game ended up being 7-3, and then of course, that of course was the throw to Dawson Knox that allowed for the Buffalo offense to get a touchdown. Josh Allen was going to run, and what he decided to do afterwards, he decided to pass it, and Dawson Knox was open. So that made it 7-3. And then, of course, the Indianapolis Colts scored again, and it became 10-7. Now, what could have happened if Indianapolis didn't screw it up is they could have actually had the field goal, and they could have made it 13-7, but they decided to try for the touchdown. They were in Buffalo territory, and it was 4th and goal, and it was like at the 3 or 4 yard line. And what they decided to do, they decided to go for a 4th down. Philip Rivers unfortunately threw a incomplete pass, and it was basically because the receiver couldn't come up with the ball. So this gave Buffalo an opportunity to score, and Buffalo did score with I think it was a run by Josh Allen that made it 14-10, and this was at half. And then of course Buffalo got it back, and Buffalo won the toss, of course. And in the second half, Buffalo I think scored a field goal, which made it 17-10. And then Indianapolis tried for the field goal to make it 17-13, but unfortunately the kicker hit the goalpost, and as a result Buffalo still had the lead 17-10. And then of course Buffalo again scored a touchdown, and that made it 24-10. And then of course Indianapolis scored a touchdown, but instead of going for the extra point, because what actually happened was there was an offsides call, and Buffalo what actually happened was Buffalo got penalized for it, and they moved it to the 1, and Philip Rivers and Indianapolis Colts decided to go for the 2-point conversion. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion failed. They went for the run, and what actually happened was Buffalo stopped the 2-point conversion from happening, from preventing the runner from getting into the end zone. And then of course Buffalo scored a field goal, and by the way, Buffalo scored the field goal, both the field goal and the touchdown in the fourth quarter. And Tyler Bass kicked a 54-yarder. I believe it was a 54-yarder, and as a result, it was 27-16. Now, Buffalo's defense didn't quite do as good on the next drive by Indianapolis, as Philip Rivers scored a touchdown as a result of kind of catching the Bills off guard when it comes to the defense. And Philip Rivers easily had a touchdown pass, and there were a couple of runs as well that helped Philip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts to get back in it. They took the 2-point conversion, and it made it 27-24. Now, Buffalo had a chance to ice the clock or run the clock down to the point where Indianapolis couldn't score at all. Unfortunately, the only mistake that Josh Allen made was the fumble, but the fumble didn't result in a turnover. Buffalo actually got the ball back, and at least Josh Allen tried to get the first down. It failed, but he at least tried. It was short of the first down, and Buffalo had to punt. And Indianapolis had a chance to either kick the field goal or win it. And there were a couple of fourth downs, and Indianapolis was able to convert on those fourth downs. And then, of course, there was this one particular play which Indianapolis got a first down out of. And what actually happened was there was a fumble. Now, I'm going to talk more about this after, but the thing about it is it was ruled down by contact. It was ruled down by contact, and they reviewed it, and it said that they standed with the call, and Indianapolis Colts had another chance. Unfortunately, Phillip Rivers threw a couple incomplete passes. Sorry about that. He didn't throw an interception at all, and he wasn't sacked at all either. And Indianapolis didn't allow a sack at all. There was only 2 times that Josh Allen was sacked, and of course, the last play of the game was 4th down. Phillip Rivers had a chance to get a touchdown since Indianapolis was not in field goal range. It was 4 seconds left. It was 4th and 10. Phillip Rivers throws a Hail Mary, and the Hail Mary doesn't go anywhere. And it wasn't that good of a Hail Mary at all. And Buffalo ended up batting the ball down incomplete. And Buffalo ended up winning as a result of that, 27-24. So Buffalo will now host a playoff game for the divisional round, and they will face the winner of either the Steelers and the Steelers-Browns game, if the Steelers win, of course, or they will face the winner of the Titans-Ravens game, in which they would face the Titans if the Titans actually won. But that's if the Pittsburgh Steelers actually lose to Cleveland. If the Steelers lose to Cleveland and the Titans win, Buffalo would get the Titans. However, I will find out what opponent Buffalo will get once the next wild card game has been finalized. Now for the one thing I'm going to talk about. This I'm going to complain about. And that was the call on the field. That was called down by contact. Now, if you watch the replay, you can clearly see that the runner that caught the ball wasn't down by contact. The 2 defenders of Buffalo let the player get up, and what Jordan Poyer decided to do was rip the ball out of the runner's hand that caught the ball, and this really should have counted as a fumble. If it would have counted as a fumble, the game would have been over, and Buffalo would have kneeled down, and that's how the game would have ended. Unfortunately, the refs got it wrong, and they called it down by contact, even though it was not down by contact. It took a while for them to call it how they want. Honestly though, and I'm going to say this, I don't think they should have called it down by contact. It shouldn't have standed at all. They kept with the original call, and I thought that was a bad call. And I'm going to say this, it's the worst officiating replay call of the 2020-2021 season, because what could have happened, Buffalo could have lost, and people would have complained much more if the refs would have screwed Buffalo out of a playoff win. This could have happened if Buffalo wouldn't have batted down the Hail Mary that Phillip Rivers threw. But because Buffalo was able to bat down the Hail Mary that Phillip Rivers threw, Buffalo won the game. But that call was definitely one of the worst calls of the entire season. No question about it. That shouldn't have been called down by contact. It should have been ruled a fumble. Even the one person from CBS said it should have been a fumble. It should have counted as a fumble. And the officials made the wrong call. So that was really my only complaint with the game. Besides that, it was fine. There were a couple times where they reviewed certain calls, and I was fine with that. I really was. I felt that they made the right call for those particular plays. Unfortunately, they screwed up with one particular call, and that was the only bad call of the game. Luckily, it didn't lead to a full collapse, and Buffalo could have lost this game because of that bad call. So that is it, and I'm going to find out who the next opponent is pretty soon. But right now, I just wanted to make a video celebrating the Bills' win. I still doubt that they're going to win more playoff games than possibly the Super Bowl. But if they do win the Super Bowl, like I said, I'm going to pie myself in the face. I'm going to pie myself in the face. But I will say, go Bills. Go Bills. And I hope they don't give up. I don't know who their opponent is going to be. I will find out Sunday night. And I'm recording this. After all of the Saturday games have been decided. I'd like to congratulate the Washington football team's quarterback, because they had a replacement instead of Alex Smith, and surprisingly enough, that quarterback did a pretty good job. And another thing, Tecmo Super Bowl, that the predictions that I did for Tecmo Super Bowl, the Super Bowl that has been decided for that, it's not going to happen because Seattle bit the dust. They had Seattle for the Super Bowl. That's not going to happen. So at the end here, I'm going to show you the call on the field for the down by contact thing. But this is it for now, and this probably won't be published until probably Monday. But oh well. Peace out, everybody, and let me know how you felt about the game. Buffalo won, and I'm pretty happy about that. It was about time. And besides, they haven't really lost at home as a division leader. And I don't think they've lost ever. I don't know. I really don't know. Alright, everybody, peace out, and I'm sorry that this was a long video. I'm not gonna publish that one particular thing. I'll probably just give you a link to the bad call. Alright, everybody, stay safe and stay awesome, and God bless you all. Peace out. Stay safe and stay awesome.